Hey everyone, welcome back to the Destination Baby and Kids YouTube channel. This is Gina and I am your host, and I'm so excited to be here with you today to go over a fabulous product that I found at the ABC Kids Expo that I was so pumped about that I actually bought a bunch of them. So what are we going to be talking about? We are going to be talking about a new lightweight overhead compartment compatible travel stroller. So before we go any further, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. You can like the video, you can share the video if this makes sense. Sharing is caring. And also, if you have questions or comments at the end of the video, please feel free to leave them below. I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, now that that is out of the way. Oh, also, if you end up liking this stroller so much and are as enthused about it as I am, you can head over to my website, destinationbabykids.com, and you could buy this stroller directly from me. So if you love this channel and you really want to be supportive, the best way to show your support is to go ahead and just make a purchase directly from me. So again, destinationbabykids.com. That's the end of my spiel. Let's launch into this fabulous new travel stroller. Brand new, not even available until now. This is the first video on it, so I'm so thrilled to have hopefully the debut, unless somebody beats me to it. That, my friends, is a new stroller called the Mini Flip. It's from a brand called Cangaroo. Who cares? The bigger thing is going to be all the fabulous features of the stroller. So let's launch right in and talk about the fabulous Mini Flip stroller, new overhead compartment compatible, lightweight for 2025. Okay, so Mini Flip is extremely fabulous for a whole host of reasons, but as you can see, currently available in two awesome colors. So we have black, and then as you can see, we have this beautiful sort of hunter British racing green, which is very cool. It reminds me of the older Jaguars from like the late 80s, early 90s. It's really aging myself, but I don't care. Absolutely beautiful color. So first and foremost, things that I love about this stroller is that they're actually very good looking. Now, this isn't the most important thing in the world, but when I get to the price of this stroller, I think the look and it being so beautiful with such incredible textiles is going to be very surprising. So it also includes cup holder in the purchase price. So I'm going to go ahead and take my soda out of there and set it back, but it is included when you buy the stroller. So every single stroller that I sell, for the most part, you would buy the cup holder sold separately. Here it's included in the purchase price. So love that. The other thing about this stroller, let's talk about the facts and figures, right? Because we do this for all of the other strollers that we show here to you guys. So as far as travel strollers go, it has a backrest height of 18.5 inches. It's actually taller than a lot of competitive strollers. I have a video showing this compared to some other strollers. The backrest height here is actually quite high, so that is pretty fabulous. Our harness minimum and maximum is 10 inches at its lowest, and then goes up to 15 inches. Our canopy clearance, so that's butt to the top of the canopy when the canopy is engaged over kiddo's head, that is going to be 24 inches, so that is fabulous. The seat width from the interior end to end is 13 inches. That's pretty standard across most travel strollers, so just something to be aware of there. The seat depth. Okay, so the seat depth is 7.5 inches, and our crotch belt depth is 4.5 inches. So that's how deep the crotch belt is from the back of the seat. So it's a nice size seat. It also has a very big plate here that is adjustable. So we love that. And that plate is surprisingly 7 inches long. So when you add this 7 inches to the 7.5 inch depth of the seat, you're looking at a total depth here, if you have the footplate up, of 14.5 inches. So the only one that's going to be longer than that is the butterfly, which is like 16. So this is longer, and I'd argue one of the most supportive foot plates for a travel stroller. So I think that that is a really awesome feature. Now, another thing that this stroller would do is recline, right? Because if we want to put a sleeping kiddo in here or they fall asleep, how do we do that? There's a pincher on the back. The stroller piece will lay down. So as you can see by the recline shown here, this is a 3-month plus stroller. There's no option for car seat. There's no option for a newborn baby to go in here. However, I would argue Most of my consumers are not doing heavy duty travel within the first 3 months. And if they are, they generally do baby wearing, just because with a kiddo that small, sometimes it's not so fun to put them so low into a travel stroller. So again, 3 months plus, you can go ahead and set them directly into the stroller seat. Now, something else that was crazy about this stroller that I couldn't believe when I compared it to all the other travel strollers that I sell, which are like $500 and $600, is that this guy actually has incredible ventilation on the back of the seat. So I'm going to go ahead and roll this up, and there is a toggle to keep this all neat and beautiful. But my goal with this is hopefully you guys can see by the natural color of this dresser back here how much of this is open, this panel. Let me bring the stroller over to show you all. That is an insane amount of mesh ventilation. My nephews were always sweating. I cannot think of a travel stroller that has better ventilation than this one offers. Additionally, on the top of the canopy, there's an additional panel. And you could roll this piece back and toggle it to that same one that the other guy's in, although it just kind of holds nicely. But as you can see, this is an insane amount of ventilation for a travel stroller. So I think about a horribly hot area, you know, you want to bring the baby to Ostia and do all the Roman ruins, you know, I mean, that's not Roman, but you get what I'm saying. You want to see Italian ruins in Italy, no air conditioning, walking around outdoors, very hot. So nice feature that you get with this stroller in the green or the black that's basically not on any of the other travel strollers I sell to this degree. Now, something else that this stroller had, and this was actually the reason why I was interested in purchasing it for my store, is when I do these videos of travel strollers, and actually of most strollers, I will always get in the comments eventually someone that's like, how upright does it sit? Does it sit at a perfect 90-degree upright? I've yet to find a stroller that ever sits upright enough for the customer that's obsessed with this. However, my argument here is the upright positioning of this seat is actually, and I'm gonna actually fix this real quickly because this will bother me otherwise. I'm gonna go ahead and zip these pieces back down when I recline it. So the thing here is there's a dual zipper on the back, and the zipper quality is super nice. I was very surprised by that. Usually that's like a cheap chintzy thing, but the zipper quality was really, really nice. So what I'm able to do here is pull this seat to sit as upright as humanly possible that I can get it. And I would argue this is about as close to 90 degrees. I mean, that would be 90, but that's about as close to the most upright I've ever seen on a stroller, specifically a travel stroller, in my life. So if you are the type of individual where your kid, you just know that they need the most upright seated position, Mini Flip is going to give you an insanely upright seated position, as well as like an infinity recline, because you can pinch the backrest and stop it from reclining at any point. So super cool. Now the harness is a 5-point to 3-point pop-off plastic buckle. So it's not magnetic, but that's okay. It's still a very worthwhile, easy to use buckle. So that's really nice. There is a little white wall on the tire, which is great because if you're walking at dusk or in the evening and light shines onto it, it's a little bit reflective. So people are going to be able to see you if you're crossing the street, which we absolutely love. Now, additionally, it comes with the front bar included in the purchase price. This front bar is nice. It's stationary. If you do want to remove it, it can come off from either side. It is a swiveling bar, which is very nice, and as I mentioned, either side fully removable. Now, that being said, why do we care if it comes off? Well, when you're ready to fold the stroller, it is a single hand fold. Just folds down. Again, this is a new product for me, so it takes a second. If I don't get it perfect on the very first try, usually on the second try it'll be better. But as you can see here, when I remove the bar and tuck it right here, this is going to fold small enough to go into the overhead. It also has a separate lock on the side of the stroller. So when I want to open it, I don't have to press any of the buttons that I use to fold it because some of them don't have an external lock. You have to hit the same handles to fold and unfold. Sometimes for people with arthritis, that's actually a bigger challenge than it would sound like. So I don't mind the external lock. I actually think that's kind of nice. I also think it's less pieces to break in terms of all of the cables on the interior of the handle. So stroller, where's my piece here? So 3 months plus. The basket capacity will hold, I believe the catalog said 10 pounds. I did put 15 pounds in it and walk it around with a 50-pound weight in the top, no problem. So it does everything very beautifully. I'm going to say that the basket will hold 15 pounds, but you're probably safest at 10. The seat will hold 50. And as you saw, they both fold right or left-handed, no problem. And again, about 15 pounds, maybe 16 pounds, so definitely not too heavy. Goes in and out of the trunk, no problem. Now, here's the thing about Mini Flip that blew my mind. I suspect that the retail for this is going to be somewhere between $249 and $279. So if you think about the next nearest stroller that can do something like this, which is like a 3-month plus recline and, you know, fold small enough to go in the overhead, the next nearest thing that isn't garbage would be a Peg Perego Volo, and that's going to run you $350. And that doesn't have as many features as this does. So this will come with a cup holder. This has a deeper recline. It has the ventilated recline. Again, the textiles on the product are absolutely beautiful. The quality of the textiles is shocking. So in many ways, I actually feel like this is a lot like a Coach purse, where it's not going to scream Coach all over it. It's just going to be like a classic leather handbag. And what I'd say that's nice about something like this, that's a brand that isn't a flashy brand, is that if you are on vacation, you might not want to draw attention to yourself as somebody that is spending, you know, $600 on a disposable travel stroller. You may not want to call attention to yourself that way in certain markets. So the nice thing about a little nondescript Coach handbag versus a super loud Louis bag is that it might be better in certain scenarios just not to draw that kind of attention to yourself, and I think travel is a good way to feel about that. But additionally, it is sharp enough looking where you are not embarrassed to push it around. It's not some chintzy, weird, goofy, cheap, brand that you pick up at the drugstore, like a drugstore stroller or a Walmart stroller. It's beautiful quality. So again, head on over to my website, destinationbabykids.com. You'll see the finalized pricing. Again, I'm hoping they're going to put it at the $249, but if it's a little bit more than that, I still think the value is incredible. And we've got both colors available immediately. So check it out. Thank you so much for watching, and feel free to check out my video comparing it to like 4 other travel strollers that are very popular on the market right now.